everybody. And welcome to Artist Wife, Writer Husband Podcast 2020, y'all.
Woodwood,
starring
me, Artist Wife, Midnight.
And me, Writer Husband, Neff. And our co-host.
It's me, it's MDC.
That was actually pretty cool. Yeah, and that wasn't scripted at all. So, yeah, MDC is no longer a guest. He actually upgraded to co-host.
I mean, to be honest,
it was actually suggested by one of our viewers, Bernard. Bernard Blinky.
Yeah, Blinky.
Can we do last names? Yeah, Bernard Jefferson Blinky. Yeah. Come on down. Anyways,
he's not here to come on down.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's here in spirit.
Right.
Is he?
Asleep.
But he's not dead.
He's
sure?
asleep.
But yeah, he's asleep, but not dead.
Oh yeah, yo, we're
not forever.
Not forever.
Yeah. It's actually pretty late. It's funny how that goes though, because I'm like, I was telling MDC like, yo, we gotta record this, like, early.
Yeah.
Like, I do not want to be, and yeah, it's already 11:34.
Our usual.
And I got work in the morning.
Right. For once, MDC was ready when we waited.
Well, we waited like a good 20 minutes
5
before he stopped.
I got relaxed after, not getting picked up for another hour.
He was starving on the couch. Like, I received a text, and MDC was like, he was like, hey, when we on the way to your house, we got to pick up some food. And I was like, yo, you might want to eat now, bro, because me and Anna was actually in a brainstorming session.
It was awesome.
For a story that we're going to be working on, me and Midnight. Yeah, I don't know. Have we been using real names or pen names? Okay, yeah.
Oh,
and that's just like,
I mean, if they follow our podcast, they know.
We hope by now you guys know our voice. And if y'all don't know our voice, like I said, I'm the writer husband.
Pet names?
That's that artist wife. And
some people call me Master.
MDC.
And that's MDC. I mean, we've said
Master
like
Dark
Jamal
Chocolate.
once or twice. So
Why in the name of all holy, unholy, and atheistic would you ever bring that back up?
Well, okay, you added the master part.
What, Mr. Dark Chocolate?
No, no. Basically, when I first saw it, because it was like MDC HOC or something like that.
Yeah.
And then so to me, I was like, okay, that must stands for Maryland Dark Chocolate.
No, Maryland.
We're from Maryland. MDC is dark. I mean, chocolate.
It doesn't help that like one of my friends made somewhat of a racial joke to me. I was like, I don't know how to feel about that.
Wait, what kind of racial joke?
Man.
You got a lot of white friends too, so I kind of gotta know.
Darn. Did I really just throw that out there?
Yeah, now I gotta know.
Now I gotta...
You
Alright, so,
2020 with uncomfortable racist jokes that your white friends tell you for $200. Go.
The thing is, I gotta steer that person clear of this now. Anyway, so I was walking them to their car. And I was like, yeah, it's great to have you, a strong black man. I was like, what? I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, well, I mean, and she's like, we could curse on here, right?
Yeah,
we've been cursing before.
Oh, yeah. She was like, yeah, I wouldn't fuck with you. I mean, even though I do because we're friends, but I mean, if I was a stranger, I'm thinking.
Excuse me?
And all of a sudden, in my mind, I just heard,
Robert.
Sikalisi, Kolahenga. To get out. Oh, my bad.
Wow.
Someone didn't see Get Out.
We don't understand. We don't even do the New Year's resolution jump. But if we did, we're going to watch Get Out. We're going to finish watching Get Out because we started it, and we're going to finish Us in 2020.
Yeah. And
we're going to do a review, and no one's going to care because everyone has already seen it before.
But we care, so that's why we do it.
Right.
You people are disgraced.
It was so bad because we started it and we got like 17 minutes in, but then parental duties went like blaring behind us, so we couldn't finish it.
Yeah, exactly. We went exactly 15 minutes in.
Yes.
And we had to stop.
And then just blaring parental duties, and then it just that was like a year ago, babe.
So yeah, definitely. Okay, so with this episode, ringing in the new year.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah, we're just, announcing we're back. We've been gone for a while.
Roll
Mainly,
back the clock. Roll back the clock. Roll back the clock. Roll
yeah,
back.
that's exactly what I was thinking about when I thought of the title for that. You know, we're back, a creator's story.
Yeah, do that.
Hey.
That's not the title. Yep.
No, yeah, that's gonna be the title
I mean, but
for,
you know,
for this podcast episode.
for the end of the year, a lot of us were pretty busy. We're gonna talk about those things and then talk
Yeah.
about how busy we're going to be in 2020, but also how we're gonna not.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, we
those
want to
songs.
catch you guys up to speed on the projects that we've been working on.
Yeah, because I was pretty busy from like our last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
MDC has been pretty busy.
yeah, who wants to open up the floor first then?
We'll go to MDC.
Oh.
What have you been up to last fall into winter?
Oh, so ladies first, I see.
Okay. I'm just gonna, whatever.
Yeah, it's 2020. Don't judge me.
I identify as a couch potato, so it's fine.
Wow. That's
Oh, wow.
sad. Dear God.
With or without the butter?
You got bacon on that? Nope, you can't eat meat.
Well, you tell us what you've done, MDC.
Oh, I've done a lot. Oh, I'm sorry.
Not who you've done.
Actually, wow.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Wah,
Oh,
wah,
I'm
wah.
so sorry.
I mean, I'm not saying I haven't had action. I just haven't.
Had action.
Had satisfaction.
That's
Hey.
worse.
Well, I definitely have.
Okay, that's what I say. You got to steer a lot more people away from this podcast.
Slap an R rating on that baby.
Woo! Wow, I'll turn to an S
Suggestive
rating.
themes. Oh
Hey,
my
hey,
god.
MC, you said you was in a podcast. I want to listen to it. Yeah, okay, you can listen to every episode except for episode 8. Or no, this is episode 9.
But this is
Episode 9.
9, yeah. I mean,
Big 9 tizzle.
9. That
Yeah,
means 9.
so-
999.
Last
No.
time we talked, you were working on Always Remember the 31st, right? Or you was about to begin work on it,
Yes.
if I remember correctly.
Yes, I was.
So how did that go?
How did that go?
Oh man, it was great until the end. But no, really.
What?
First and foremost, I gotta say, of all the films I've directed, that one came together the best. Like, you know,
Yay.
the cast was perfect. They were all extremely dedicated. A lot of my strong experience came into play here. You know, having to rewrite a whole scene, like literally right before you shoot it. Having to pick locations on the fly. There was a lot of like really close calls on this one, but they all, for the most part, stuck. Now, the reason I kind of sounded somewhat down at first, because once post-production came around, it got a bit complicated. So, let's just say it wasn't ideal. It wasn't released exactly on Halloween like the previous film was, like it was planned. And then I had to, once I did release it, literally the morning after, I had to unrelease it because of an issue that didn't exist.
Really?
But yeah, so it was a framing issue, but here's the stupid thing that happened. So I uploaded the film. I didn't review it because I had watched the darn thing like several times already. I was sick of watching it. Then I get a text from one of my crew saying that he's like, yeah, it's in I can't remember, was it 60 frames or something? He's like, I don't know if you had planned to do it like that. So I look at the video on YouTube, and it looks pixelated as heck. So I immediately block it, and I tell everyone, okay, there's been a technical issue, but I'll fix it later. So what I come to find out, actually, that the framing issue wasn't causing that. It was YouTube itself. I have no idea, but YouTube, for whatever reason, uploaded it, or not uploaded it, but when I was viewing it, it viewed it at a very at a bad quality, like 360 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that's the frame issue, you know, because and for whatever reason, my phone this morning was just not working with me. I don't know what was going on with it. So me seeing what I saw on YouTube, I immediately think that, okay, the framing issue was the issue. But then, of course, I come to find out way after that, no, framing wasn't the issue at all. So Yeah,
That sucks.
Yes, I ended up releasing this thing not until like November 3rd, and so I was slightly bummed out. But it was like, well, I took that time when I took it down to fix some of the other editing issues, which I did do. And right now, it's up and alive on Crossover Entertainment, along with
On YouTube.
Yep, on YouTube.
On the tubes.
And that's a version of it, but now I'm really got my sights on putting pretty much every film I do for here on out into festivals. So both the first one and the second one are going to go through a much better edit so they can be festival ready. And pretty soon, actually, I'm going to be working on the third one, so I don't have to stress about it in fall.
Yeah,
So-
definitely. It's just gonna get people to dress like they're in fall,
Yeah, pretty
right?
much.
For the most part.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, and I can definitely attest to that.
We were on site.
With MDC, yeah, I was
Like
definitely
set
there
on
for a few of those nights, especially the night where he had to rewrite an entire scene because of issues. I guess, yeah,
It was
with
set
that
issues.
set issues. Yeah, yeah,
Like
Or location issues.
Yeah,
There we
location.
go.
Yeah.
Location
Okay.
issues.
yeah. It was a fun experience because I was told, well, I had asked for one part that literally had one line only, and I practiced it for quite a while and whatnot. I told the people at my job, I told my family.
He really
I was,
pressed for it.
really hyped and excited because there's not, like I've said this before, there's not a lot of MDC films, and my contract is I can only work in MDC films, so I got a family, they need to eat, so I was very excited and whatnot, and there was no pressure. And then I was also informed that I was going to be the guy driving people that had more importance in the film too. So I was like, okay, bet I got a car. That's the reason I got the car, to drive it. So I was like, okay, good. But actually, I ended up playing the parts of two of the monsters. I ended up being the sound guy for a little bit. I was kind of intoxicated, and
What?
like anxiety hit because I totally thought like I just kept hearing some weird what would be like the correct term for it? Like it wasn't like a beeping noise, but it was like some weird feedback noise in the headphones, and I'm just like, yo, should I say something? Like, am I holding this wrong? I totally don't know how to hold it. My arm is getting tired. I'm talking about the boom mic, for those who might not know. But yeah, so I was like so worried about it, and I was like, okay, we filmed it a couple of times. I guess we'll be okay. I'll wait to see if MDC has anything to say about it. And he was editing. He didn't say anything about like, oh yeah, man, that part we had you do the sound for totally sucked, unusable, man. You really let me down. Oh, that's totally what I was thinking. I was so scared. It actually turned out that one of the other actors that did the mic one of the nights, they did it pretty bad.
Well, actually, this is what I'm gonna say about sound. I'm not gonna drop the blame on anyone specifically because the fact is we just did not have a sound person.
Yeah, so
to be
if
honest-
anyone is interested in being a sound person for,
Emphasis on the gender neutral person. It's open to all positions.
What?
I just like that
What?
you said. I thought you were gonna say sound guy, but you said sound person, and I'm just like, oh, emphasis on the gender neutral. It's open to all.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we deserve a freaking cookie anyway.
No, the main thing I was going to say
so
is,
confused.
yeah, I mean, it's more than likely not
Please help
paying. So,
Pro
but
bono.
if you want to help and you want to be part of a community that and network that I definitely, me myself, have faith in that is going to get big, and it will be a paying gig at some
Eventually.
point in the future. Yeah, exactly, or whatnot.
And we got big plans. We got big hopes and dreams.
Yeah, yeah.
We need some big dreamers with us.
I came from the
Definitely
future.
could use your help.
So yeah, I actually came from the future one day. I was like, oh, that's me from the future. It's like, yeah. It's like, keep doing what you're doing. Then he disappeared in the cloud. What was freaky though, he had this nasty scar on his face. I don't know where the heck that. I mean,
What
I don't
in
have a scar on my
filming
face
could
right
have
now.
happened?
There was this that kind of reminded me of this one meme
In filming.
where it was like, can you imagine you just sitting in your room, like just watching TV or something, and a portal opens up, and it's like some ghost standing next to a better looking version of yourself, and they're just like, if you don't do this thing, or if you let your life go to hell, this is what you will look like. And it's like, oh God, ghost, show me no more. Show me no more. This is terrible. And you're just like, and they leave, and you're just like, yo, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Oh, man.
Let that not be us.
Right. But yeah, it was definitely an experience, because like for the
I was
week
the
or
mom.
two, like around the week or two,
I was the mom.
Jamal, MDC, he did the editing at our house and whatnot. That was fun.
He slept on
But I
everything
can
that he could possibly sleep on.
Yeah.
In our living room.
We would have let him. He would have slept on the table. But yeah. But you know, it was definitely it was not sad, like it was. I don't know the word that I'm searching for, but I was concerned. I guess it was concerning, discerning, one of those, to see you, you know, sitting there editing, you know, slamming away at the keys like a caveman, trying to get like the, you know, the stuff work, and because it was literally like technological problem after technological. At one point, like I lied to you not, the network adapter in my laptop just stopped working, and it would not connect to the internet. Yeah. Like it never happened until it touched MDC's hands. Like I was getting upset.
You know, and that's one thing I really hate about editing, and I'm really trying to get away from, because I'm not really a computer junkie like that to begin with.
Oh, are you
and
not?
On top of that, yeah, I'm really not. And see, on top of that, this was
I know. I know.
This was an updated program from the last one I used.
Oh, I hate that.
So,
yeah.
And for whatever reason, they always change the good stuff. I'm just like,
right. Why didn't you leave the interface? The thing that I need, the one tool that why does it move?
Yeah.
Why did it move? Oh, that's me in Photoshop, the new Photoshop. I'm just like, I don't want this.
And so it was like, that was driving me nuts. Not to mention, it had been literally a whole year since I've edited anything.
Right, so it's literally like you have to relearn all that stuff again.
Yeah, and it was all that, plus computer stuff, plus hard drive stuff, plus just the editing itself.
Gabby.
At some point, Ashley had to...
Sorry, I feel like I have to explain that. Sorry, our small child person
daughter
is...
Really?
She's up right now, and she like kind of kicked the power cord to the sound mixer.
Of all the things you could, why are you in it, Gabby?
Like, yeah, I don't know why she's sitting right there. Like,
because I'm sitting over here.
Entire room. I wanted to put her back, but anyways, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, MDC.
Someone needs to call that stork to come back real quick.
I know, right?
But
God, I'm gonna tell the stork. You're missing 3. Wait, they're upstairs asleep. Go ahead. They'll be asleep for the ride.
But
I love my kids.
I mean, we actually did. Now, I will say one thing about the idea. Like, we did have to reshoot a couple of shots. I'm not gonna say scenes. It was a scene. That came out very well. I wasn't gonna forgive myself if I had to use the original footage, which just had so many both cinematic issues, as well as just story continuity issues. Like, you know, this takes place in this old town that's kind of out of touch with the modern world, and in the background you see a freaking alarm system and a thermostat. It's like, hold up. They don't have that in Wacom. Like, what?
The thermostat could probably have gotten a little bit of a pass.
Got the little ADT sign in the front yard.
It was very blunt. And,
you know, that's smart to catch that, because that didn't cross my mind at all.
And that's the thing. It didn't. No one caught it when we shot that scene.
Yeah, because it's like,
you know. So it was like, yeah, let's fix that. That was honestly the last straw. Like, you know, no, I gotta get that security crap out of there, because that's just making no sense.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, and like I said, the thing about it, it's like this. I did everything well except starting earlier. But the thing about starting earlier is that I had just come off of the feature film Bundles, which I also brought up. So,
yeah, oh yeah.
Bundles. Can't wait to see that.
and I
Right.
literally almost decided to even just skip this for this year and just hold it to next year. But my assistant director was like, "No, you're doing it." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, no, and definitely
What-
glad that you did it. Shout out to everybody that helped out.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Definitely,
Yeah,
everyone
people
was
put in a lot of
soldiers.
weight to that.
Yeah.
I gotta say that's
Professional,
one thing I really
too.
did appreciate how much. I mean, when I say people really put in work, I mean the cinematographer dropped off his equipment, let me borrow it twice. We had actors staying for the long haul, knowing that they had to get up in like 2 hours.
Some of them coming straight after work, right?
Yeah, we had people
Yeah.
playing multiple roles at times. You know, I mean, people really did put in work in this. So that's one thing I was like, there's one thing that does keep me going because I get pessimistic during editing, but one thing that keeps me going, like, you know, I'm gonna have this work done because one thing I really hate is I've worked on projects and I've seen projects that it was being filmed and somewhere online, it just never got released. Actors never got that credit, and as well as the crew. I mean, that hurts the crew too. There's a couple of films I worked on that never got done, and not my films. I have some that's still in hiatus. I'll say that, but they
Yeah,
will
but
be
I feel like
finished.
that was mainly like you had some scenes that because whatever location in you just wanted to film
Pretty much, yeah.
and whatnot. It wasn't like a whole project board, where you had everything like laid out, schedule, all filming got done, and then you just never released it.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. So, in that case, yeah, I've never not finished a project.
Yeah.
And I hate it when that happens, especially like
Looking
like,
at you, Cisco.
yeah, like especially the amount of work these actors put in. Like they really like the story. They really like
Yeah, and that's a cool feeling. Like I said, me being on set and being around everybody and how they like really got into it, got into their parts and their roles, and they were just happy to be there and whatnot. Like that was a very good feeling.
yeah.
It was very empowering, to be around, people like that, and a lot of them, they were creative too, and they did, they had their own thing and whatnot. It wasn't like for me, I feel like you on the film set, you'll get like that one person where it's like, I've worked in this and that and whatnot that just tries to be difficult because of the fact of they're like an actor with some experience or whatnot. But for the most part, no, everyone just seemed really cool and really chill and cooperative.
Shout out to the actress that played. I'm not.
Who's the actress?
I really suck.
What's her name?
She played the character.
No, what's the name of the actress? Because
No.
there's like a lot of females
Okay.
in the movie.
You did her makeup at the end, and it's one of the best. Well, to me, it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Oh, Yvonne?
Is that the black chick with you put the at the end? I don't.
The
know
one
her
that
name.
died in the last film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, how do I say it without
Okay.
giving
Well, see,
any
that's the thing. It
spoilers?
wasn't makeup, so that threw me off.
Oh my bad.
It was the costume.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to get spoilers, so I was trying to find the best way to.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, her act that scene at the end.
Yeah.
And her acting and just that whole perfectly creepy, one of my favorite scenes. I was trying to say it too loud.
And one thing
Watch
I will
it.
say,
It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
definitely.
despite all the
If you haven't seen the first one, watch the first one
Yeah,
too.
to
Remember
understand,
the
you're gonna have to watch
31st.
the first one. Yeah.
yes,
Also on YouTube. Link in the
Description.
description below.
Yeah, boy.
and one thing I will say, always make sure. One thing I did do 100% right. The most important scenes I did the best. We did the best, and that last shot, I was like, despite all the other problems, that one scene for me just avenges everything. I'm like, yeah, this is perfect because even in the making of it, people found it creepy, and that's saying something. Even people on set thought it was creepy. I was like, okay. I was actually shocked when I actually saw the footage. I was like, oh wow, looks amazing. So, like here's the thing. There's no regrets. I don't feel bad for it. I did what I did. Given the circumstances. The people that talked the most trash weren't there.
Yeah, people were talking trash.
Well,
Point me in the direction.
I'll say there's some reviews out of colleagues which I always welcome. I always want to hear criticism and you know I don't want when I hear reviews from people, I don't want I liked it or I loved it. I'm like no. Tell me what you liked and loved about it. Tell me something you didn't like. I want to hear full
important.
disclosure. You know.
Yeah.
I don't you know, just because we're friends and we know each other don't mean you gotta be nice. You know, like tell me how you feel. Punch me in the stomach. I could take it. I'm a boxer. Fight me. So, but at the same time, there were a few criticisms that kind of only irritated me because these were issues that had to do with the circumstances of filming. You know, who showed up to the script reading or whose work schedules were. You know, these are things you have to work around when you don't have a budget. It's a lot of things are easy to solve when you have a budget, but that's not what I have. So you know.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I mean,
working towards it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always.
But like I said, there's going to be a final edit for both these films, and definitely, like always, it's another learning experience. It's like generally, I say 90% of what I did right on this one. So I'm not even going to feel bad about it, knowing that you know I did my job well. It's just little nudges here and there that just got to be tweaked.
I mean, I think that's important too, that you learn from your previous time working on a project, so that each time you do a project, it gets the percentage of success, of it, or the percentage of quality goes up and up and up.
Yeah, and
that's a sign of someone who's actually learning from what they're doing.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. The quality definitely did go up for this film.
Yeah.
Always remember the 31st. Make sure to check it out. So, Midnight, what have you been up to since the last episode?
Wait, are you sure you're done? That's it? That's all?
I mean, I don't have much else to say.
Okay, well, I don't mean to brag, but I was a part of a team of creators. Yeah, sorry, I started panicking.
I was part of a team.
Shut up. I do a nervous squeak when I'm nervous.
Her voice starts cracking like a boy on in puberty.
Wow.
I was part of I got hired as a artist for a comic with a team of writers. I don't know how to explain it.
You got hired to be the artist for a comic, an independent comic called
words like that, called Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, and we had a Kickstarter in November, and it was fully funded, fully backed.
How much was the Kickstarter for?
Well, I think they only wanted, what was it, like 2,500?
Yeah, 2,500.
And we ended up getting baby. We ended up getting 3,100.
Yep, over $3,100.
It was
Congratulations on that. Shout out to they call themselves Freakish Films, right?
Freakish Films.
Yeah, shout out to Freakish Films.
Really
I definitely supported it because it was, technically speaking, my wife's first Kickstarter.
Yeah, it was
with her being a part of it as a sequential artist. Yeah, definitely congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Have you been working on it?
Yeah, I'm actually working on it.
I just be like, no.
Yeah, I pretty much started like the end of December because, Christmas time.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
After Christmas time, I'm working on it now. But November, I did some starter pages for it, did art for it, character designs, stuff to show people for the Kickstarter. Did some, did I say cover art? I don't know. Did some cover art too. I've also been working with other creators on commissions, but that was my biggest one. And then because it was
close out the 2019 year.
Yeah. Well, did we talk about Anime USA before in the last one? I was at Anime USA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like sometime in November. So
no, because that came out before October.
Yeah. So yeah, we were at Anime USA. That was the last convention of the year, and that was really good. That went really well. I donated one of my pieces of art to an auction, and they were really nice. And they asked me like, "Oh, what's the price of this?" I was like, $12, I guess. It was an 8x10 picture of my Jessica as Vidal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
dope picture, Jessica Vidal. Check that out. Facebook.com/Midnight Designs.
Yeah, cool. That's pretty much it.
Continue shouting out stuff.
Yeah, I noticed. And the people from the auction the next day.
Shout out though to Artway Alliance for giving us the chance to be at Anime USA. That was actually our first time at Anime USA
Yeah,
too.
they actually like
And
we
whatnot.
work with
Shout out to
Artway
Anime
Alliance.
USA too.
Shout out. Worked with Artway Alliance all throughout the year, and this is the first year they were like, "Hey, we got Artway Alliance. We got Anime USA. You guys down?" I was like, "Heck yeah!" And it was a great experience. I mean, people from the auction actually came and found my booth the next day and bought like 3 things, 3 big things. Yeah, so I was
That's
like,
dope.
"Holy crap, thanks!" So that was like on Sunday too. So I ended up
Support your local artists.
yeah, I was so happy. I really like that people resonate with my work and then they see more of it and they're like, wow, I gotta have that. I mean, just because I just want things, I create stuff with a piece of me in it, but also I hope that in some way someone finds themselves in it too. Because not much for us, especially PLC creators. There's not enough of us out there yet. Still, there's stuff of us out there, but there's still not enough. So
No, of course
I'm happy
not.
to be in those spaces.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I'm working on Quetzalcoatl and we're working on stuff too. So, art.
Okay. So any of your own stuff though
Yeah.
that you worked on last year?
Yeah, that I worked on last year.
Or I guess towards like the end of the year.
Wow. Wait. Would that really be then? Did we tell anybody that we're done with Alaska Jet?
We were done with it.
Yeah. I don't know when. We printed the Alaska Jet. And we debuted at Anime US. No, we debuted at Southern Maryland Comic Con.
Yes.
That was the last convention of the year.
But technically, it wasn't Alaska Jet. It was
Fight Scene. Yes, starring Lilia of the Alaska Jet.
Yes. So
that's like chapter 0 sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even call it chapter 0.
More like an excerpt kind of.
Yeah, we chose a scene that probably isn't going to go the same way, but this was something that we created. I want to say a couple years ago.
Yeah. And we you're making a lot of noise.
It's the child's fault.
She's playing with a bunch of our
Gabby
sons,
gave him action figures.
Yeah,
no, that's my action figure. I didn't give it to him.
My bad.
Suck
That
it
is
down.
actually one of them is Anderson's childhood action figures. So.
But yeah.
You should see his house. It's like a whole
we
tub
had
of all of the stuff never broken.
Yeah, unless it's I never broke them, and if any of them are broken, it was because of my little brother.
I definitely broke my own toys.
Shout out to my little brother Devin. He got his own art thing going on.
Shout out to Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
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 I have a lot of
Always.
Spawn toys.
Yeah, always.
Shout
Okay.
out to Hasbro.
Yeah, the last.
Which now owns Death Row Records.
Right? Isn't that weird? We'll talk about that later.
That's not weird.
No, it is totally weird. I still don't.
But okay, so
Pornhub shovels snow now, so.
Shovel snow?
who shovels snow?
Pornhub.
Wait. And they're saving bees? Wow.
And they're saving bees.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're involved in the Australia.
I don't like
wildfires, too.
Pornhub.
Helping out. You don't like what?
I don't like Pornhub. We're not talking about this, but
I want to know
Anyone
why not.
technically not like it.
It's a useful website.
well, I already told you my reason.
Oh, then I will act like I remember.
Okay. So
What were
yeah.
you saying?
So the
Let's
thing
forget.
with Fight Scene is
Fight
we had actually created this like I want to say like 2 years ago, and because of me being self-conscious, it never felt perfect. It never felt perfect to me when it came to editing it and whatnot. I did the lettering for it probably like 3 times
Yes.
or whatnot, but
We
me
even tried
and
to change it to like a webtoons format.
yeah, me and Midnight, we were talking and we was like, yo, we got the chance. We're going to be in Anime USA. We should release it. So, I did the lettering one more time. I think that was like the 4th time
Yeah.
or whatnot. Because, I did become a better letterer by that time. But it was like, it was basically crunch time to try to get it out. Unfortunately, we wasn't able to get it printed by Anime USA.
We got it processed to be printed, but it just didn't.
Yeah, it missed the weekend.
Yeah, it wasn't
So
until Monday.
next weekend, we were going to be at Southern Maryland Comic Con.
Another convention scene I really love to be at.
Yeah, that one
in
is
Waldorf.
in Waldorf. Shout out to Southern Maryland Comic Con for having us.
I actually went with one of my Instagram friends. Shout out to Chelsea. Backbreaker Sleeper on Instagram. She did the Foodimals for me, Chelsea.
Yeah. No, I know that.
I was about to be like, how could
I
you?
know the first name. I don't know the second name.
Oh yeah, Backbreaker Sleeper is her IG name.
Oh,
She
okay.
has like a webcomic called Machimoto. Check it out. It's really good. It's like a little dragon boy.
Yeah,
growing
yeah.
up on an island of dragon people. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
You.
Sorry, that was my bad.
You. But yeah,
but-
yeah.
Yeah, no,
It was still cool because we got it for Southern Maryland Comic Con.
yeah. And
No.
then just the fact that this is literally our first book printed in 4 years.
4 years, yep. The
And
last
when
one was
that-
2014.
That definitely took a lot.
But you have to talk. I want you to bring up the fact that you were working on the book, Anna was working on the commission, and I was working on the film, all in this room
Yeah,
at the same time.
Yeah,
At one
literally
point,
at
yeah.
the same time. It was grind time and we was crushing trying to meet our deadlines. We didn't,
Mhm.
but we
Yeah, I know, right?
For me, it was a looming Kickstarter. They were like, they had to wait for me to be done with what I was doing so they could do the Kickstarter. I'm just like, wait, I was doing other things. Hold on, guys, I got you. And then, we were trying to meet the deadlines for the conventions, and you were like, Halloween,
Yeah.
Halloween.
Wait, so none of us called our date.
No, well,
no, technically no, we didn't. We missed our deadline.
well, I didn't miss
um,
mine.
You did?
Well, yeah, technically, because I'm grouped with you, so yeah, we kind of miss our deadline.
Yeah,
Well, I had
so
to
it
do
was
some
like
tweaks, too.
you had to do the cover too, the
Yeah,
cover and the inside
yeah.
cover.
Which is
yeah.
one of my funnest things. I
So
like
it was
that
like
we
it was, but I mean, we still got it out.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
mean,
thing. We
exactly.
still get
Yeah.
it out.
And it's
Like-
like
Because October 31st, we could have just been like, well, November 1st, we could have just been like, what's the point
Yeah.
and whatnot. Like, I suck. And equally, I could have been the same thing. Could have done the same thing too.
I mean, we
and
were
whatnot.
pretty low on morale when we missed Anime USA. Like,
Yeah.
we were coming closer and closer, and it started to look like we wouldn't be able to make it. But it's like,
Well, it's like you got to bounce back from that
yeah,
and whatnot. That's the most important thing.
I want.
Don't let
well, I
it
was
get you
just gonna
down.
say, and one thing I look back, I mean, it's like even at the end of the day, as Neff said earlier, there was a lot of technical issues in this particular project.
One of them was coloration. I help with that.
Yeah, oh my freaking goodness. Yeah, there was a lot of like just random issues. So it's like sometimes things are kind of somewhat out your hands. Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like
Like it just seems like whenever you like kind of just need for things to get to go perfect, it usually doesn't.
Yeah.
And it just be like the wildest things. Like I said, with the network adapter, just for whatever reason, just randomly, stopping. I remember I actually had an issue at one point, error message when I was trying to download Premiere the legal way onto my laptop.
Right.
And whatnot. And like you said, like I think like a footage came up missing or
Yeah.
whatnot.
And that's the other thing. I had footage in 2 different places for a while.
Oh
Then
yeah.
the first laptop I was working on was slow because it had been used a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my goodness, yeah. It looking back, there was a lot of because that's when all the problems began. Like the production itself was great, but like once editing came around, it was just like random problem after random problem. It's like good lord. It's just, for a long time, like I said, because it was slow, I couldn't even view the footage. So that's another reason I was like, there's probably some better shots I could have used. Actually, I just don't even know about, because it was just I didn't have the time to really sit there and look at everything.
Yeah, definitely got to create like a better structure
Yeah.
for
And
you.
It's kind of like one thing I've learned, and this is probably the biggest lesson I could take from last year. You gotta remember things go wrong, and you have to whatever you plan and prep. You always have to remember, okay, this might not go wrong. In fact, nothing ever goes as planned. And sometimes it's not just like okay, we had to change. It's like no, sometimes things just go straight up wrong. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It goes from a
Some
bumpy
days
road
we
to no
had-
road.
Planning to shoot, but
I mean, yeah.
someone doesn't show up.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things is when you have a deadline that you personally set and it has to be met. And even if the deadline you didn't personally set, that is just in general set,
Mhm.
and you're like, got it like someone else or something else.
Oh, yeah, undo it.
Babies. You have a deadline that's looming over you, whether it's personally set or especially when it's set by somebody else or something else, and you're just like you're racing to meet it. It can seem very scary and very big, but the moment that you let go of the idea that it's not going to be perfect 100% of the time of the way as you're racing towards that deadline, the easier it kind of gets to accept, not to accept, but to make the best of the time that you have between it and there.
Yeah.
And then you start to realize, okay, I know this is the deadline. Next time I'm probably going to start it like at least another week earlier or 2 weeks earlier.
In my case,
definitely.
2 seasons early.
We're like the court of procrastination.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, and it's like
The monarchs of hold on, I got something.
because
Nope, I lost it.
because
Yeah.
you know, and that's what I've been doing. I was reflecting that at one point I was just asking myself, okay, what the heck went wrong with this? And I realized it's like, well, in fairness, my back was already against the wall from the start. You know, I was coming right off of another film, a much, much, much bigger project. And then it was...
So,
Oh, go on.
huh?
My bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. It's like a habit, small talk.
It's
insert.
like I tried to. That was weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
what
sorry, man.
happened?
That was really weird because I was about ready to add something, and then she said, "Go on." And I'm just like, wait, what? Are you telling him to go on or me to go on?
I was distracted with what I was doing,
Uh-huh.
and we're in the middle of talking, so my brain went on like autopilot for a second, and that's to let people know that I'm listening to them. I'm not really listening to them.
But it was quiet. It was literally quiet.
And that's
You
when
was
I
like,
inserted like, oh,
Go
go
on.
on, go ahead. I'm
like,
listening.
wait, what?
Whatever, have fun at the circus, guys.
I promise every time you guys are talking to me, I don't always go on autopilot, but sometimes I have little blurbs that are like, oh, there's silence. Quick, tell someone and let them know that you're still listening. So,
So let me ask. I wanted to
Auto-response.
ask you this. How, like coming from off of bundles, right, and working on that, how was it for you to be like, okay, now I got to go to my, rinky dinky, not saying that's what it was, but you get what I'm saying. Like how was it to move from? No, Gabby, you can't do that. How was it to move from, working on a project that was being funded and being like, to something much smaller? Like,
Honestly,
did it give you hopes in the future?
now, actually, yeah.
Or did it make you go harder, like in the sense of knowing, like, okay, like, because it's like you've been on sets before, but you said like this was like the biggest one.
This was definitely the biggest one. I
Right.
mean, the whole
Like, did you take anything from bundles to always remember the 31st? That's what I'm asking.
Okay, so
Other than the actors.
yeah. Let me tell you, that's one thing I do want to point out. This is the power of networking. A lot of actors from bundles were involved in Always Remember, and a lot of people I had met at various parties I had went to were involved in this project. So I ended up having a lot of people. In fact, I actually had to tell a lot of people, okay, not this project. Because everyone honestly wanted to work with me on this. So it was like, cool. I was like, okay, not this one, guys, but trust me, you're in mine. In fact, I literally wrote a person in last minute because they were interested, but there was a couple of reasons why I wasn't involved. And one being is that they came off of bundles. They had one of the starring roles, but I was like, well, if they're going to be in this, they're going to have they're just going to be an extra. So I don't want to, downgrade them like that, But they ended up having a speaking role because my man Nev here brought up a brilliant way to seal up a plot hole.
Whoop, whoop.
And so
yeah, filling in plot holes.
Yeah, so basically I just wrote a little dialogue and gave it to that person, so they ended up acting after all. So yeah, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, for me, I mean, a film is a film, whether it's budgeted or small budget or no budget. You pretty much have the same mindset. Get it done. Use your resources and get it done. Of course, my in bundles, I was a stunt coordinator and I was the prop master. So I was pretty much mostly off to the side anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still just as focused and tried to help as much as I could when I was available. And really, like, I can't say it necessarily. I don't think I brought anything got anything new from it. Honestly, I felt like working on bundles was just showing me that this is what my life has been working up to. You know, it's just like this is where you're at now. You're on a budgeted film set. You know, because I've been doing films. Plain and simple, so it's bound to happen. And really, with me, it just made me feel like everything kind of seems possible now. So yeah, that's all I can really say about that. Honestly,
That's cool. That's cool. For me, I had got invited to.
Yeah, what you been up to,
So-
Nate?
I was going to say. It's like, no. Yeah, for me, I was invited to participate in an anthology. I wrote a chapter about writing, pretty much writing fiction.
mm-hmm.
That was really fun. That was really fun. That was my first time ever participating in an anthology.
I don't think I know about this.
No, I definitely told you.
Oh,
One of my mentors, one of my mentors, Timothy Cricket. He was the one that was organizing it for Our Way Alliance and whatnot, to donate some of the profits back to them to help them out. Yeah, shout out to Our Way Alliance too, and Timothy Cricket.
that's two.
But yeah, that was fun.
Shout out.
That was really fun doing that. And just like with Jamal, where him working on bundles showed him what his life would lead to. Me typing stuff in the dark alone showed me a glimpse of what my life as a writer is going to be like.
My God.
So
Alone,
very looking forward to it.
our workspaces are together.
Yeah, but I do my best work alone.
That just means my back was turned and I was focusing on a video or something I was drawing.
But with that, I was glad that I was able to get it on by the deadline that he asked for and whatnot, and it was fun. It was fun. Writing used to be a struggle for me, especially writing nonfiction. Like at one point earlier last year, I did not think that I could do it or that I was good enough. But no, it was actually fun being a part of that. And one of the things that I do every day, throughout the week, are these things called morning pages. Excuse me. This was actually something that I had got from this book I had got once called I'm trying to look over my bookshelf. I don't see it. The Artist's Way. I think that's what it called.
Yeah, the
It
artist
does
way.
sound
Yeah.
familiar. I think that
Yeah.
was
Like a little book that help you as a creator, or even if you don't feel yourself as a creator, but it's exercises and stuff like that to help you to bring that inner child out. So one of the things that they ask for you to do is to do your morning pages every day, which I don't do. As I just said, I only do it on the weekdays when I'm at work, because it's my work's time, but it's my time first. So with the morning pages, you just write 3 pages every day about the previous day and whatnot. So it's basically like journaling or whatnot. But I can tell you some days I don't want to do it, or I don't know what like let's say I spent like the previous day asleep or something. So it's like I really don't know how I'm going to stretch this out for 3. But morning pages can be about anything too. It doesn't necessarily have to be about your previous day. It can just be what's on your mind. But that really helped me a lot as a writer. When you take into the fact that I'm doing this 5 times out of the week, where it's literally now when I put the pen to the paper, where I used to suffer from mental fog and a lot of writer's block, it's literally it just comes out. Like I'm more in tune with whatever channel of radio station of inspiration that I need to be tuned in and whatnot. So that definitely helped me out with my creative writing too and whatnot. That was probably I want to say the main, that and also working on fight scene. Those 2 were like the main points of 2019. and whatnot, ending that out.
Not only did he work on his chapter for the anthology, but he also helped me write my chapter for the anthology.
Oh yeah, ghostwriting.
He
Yeah.
actually just kind of wrote it, to be honest. I just said something.
No ghostwriting. Yeah.
All right, ghostwriting. Yeah. I mean, I was like,
And I was fun
really
too because
amazed.
you did yours was sticker. Yeah,
And I
sticker
love
making.
stickers, so it was cool.
Nice.
And it worked out because we thought we missed the deadline for the stickers, but it looks like the sticker person, I guess he just didn't have one yet.
Yeah. We thought that there was someone else that was going to handle the chapter for sticker making because I thought Anna was going to be perfect, but it turned out that guy he didn't have his stuff ready, so.
We
Yeah,
did.
so yeah, we was able to do it. So technically,
So-
did 2 chapters.
2 chapters, though, that's a big deal. Like, to be honest, to go into an anthology book, we have the ability to sell the book.
Yeah, when it comes out. So yeah, definitely let y'all know when it comes out.
Yeah, part of you.
Stay tuned. I don't think I can say the title just yet.
Probably not.
So
yet.
it's still like
Well, we'll say
in
when
the
it's,
in the
debut,
making.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely when it's a release or is about to release, we'll let you guys know and whatnot.
You know, it's interesting. Like,
Oh crap.
It's a great way to wrap
crap.
up our 2019.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know why my screen is set to go off, but
Screensavers.
hopefully it caught all of that.
Did it?
I'm hoping.
Oh, boy.
I'm hoping it should have. Hopefully it did.
Technicalities.
I'm hoping. Maybe I should check. Maybe I should pause right quick and check.
Yeah, do that real quick.
probably do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pick
Tell the baby to be quiet.
Be quiet, baby.
Not sure that worked, but okay.
Go.
So yeah, I was just thinking. Yeah, we were pretty busy last year. Like, really thinking about it. Like, you helped on everyone's stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I needed his help for a couple of things, too.
Cause I didn't even touch like the photos I took. Like I got a pretty good working relationship.
Oh yeah, that was last year, right?
That was last year. Actually, it was around the time I was doing Always Remember. I literally received the photos while I was editing. So I began working with this photographer who I've been admiring for years. His name is Larry Bradby.
Shout out to Larry Bradby.
Yep.
Bradby, shout out.
Specializes in erotic photography, but he brought me on board because he really wanted to change his style up a little bit, really going into dark beauty. So, and let me tell you, I found out about this guy. I was at a Books a Million in Greenbelt actually. Probably last. I'm sure it's closed now.
Oh.
And I bought
Yeah, you talking about Greenbelt Mall?
Greenbelt Mall.
it
Literally,
might be, yeah.
Yeah, that everything in there should have been closed when I was going there. It's amazing. But yeah, I found this erotic photography book, one of 2 of them that I bought from there, and he was in it. And I just happened to see like this. It was this black guy from DC.
Oh, I thought you said you met him in the Books a Million.
Oh no.
I thought you said
Like,
that, too.
yeah, like he opened up. Then he was talking about the book, so he like opened up the book and he looked up and was like, "Hey, this is you." I was like, "Wait, what?"
Oh no, not at all. Actually, it's funny because I got this book probably in 2010. As a matter of fact, this was a while ago. So, I started going to all these clubs and whatnot, and I actually see him because, like I said, I was rather aware he was from DC, but I didn't think he still lived around here. But I'm at the fetish ball and I see him. I'm like, oh wow! And I introduce myself, talk to him a little bit. He's like, yeah, next time you wearing each up, bring your book to like the next event. So years go by. I see him periodically, add him on Facebook, IG, all that. And as of last year, we've been working together. We've done, I think, about 4 or 5 photo shoots now.
So did you reach out to him or he reached out to you?
Those are some amazing pictures, though.
Yeah, I
yeah.
believe
Yeah,
those are
honestly.
the best photos that have ever been taken of me.
Yeah, you can see them on your Facebook and your
IG.
Instagram page, right?
Yeah, my IG definitely.
IG.
One of my
it's-
friends
what's
says
That's
pure.
because you changed the
fetish.
name, right? Since last time.
No, it's still artist
Underscore.
MDC.
Yeah.
Okay, artist underscore MDC. Shout out to Instagram.
Yep, and it was kind of mutual. I mean, obviously, I kept talking to him one day. He for some reason he thought I lived out in Baltimore, so I was like, no, I live in DC. He's like, oh, well, shoot, you can just come on to the house. I'm like, oh, yeah. So
I'm on
it
to my
just
house.
you know, it just
Because mostly the weird people live in Be More.
Hopefully,
It's
no
an
offense to our
upgrade.
Be More fans.
I don't think we have any.
I'd like to think
Oh,
that we might.
man.
And you guys are
Well, you
normal,
don't
but-
now.
Hey, you know, weird is cool though. We're weird.
When you're strange.
Yeah, but we're not Baltimore weird.
But you're making this worse.
Omar coming.
Okay, I'm sorry. That meme was so dead on. Baltimore is like Gotham without Batman.
I'm so upset.
We all know it.
They had
And we come
Omar.
from PG. The one thing that PG was happy about when we were in school that we had better grades than Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
We cannot lie to you.
I'll never understand.
But hey, you know what? Where there's strife and struggle, that's where you get good art from. So.
yeah.
definitely.
Still
And most of
wanna
the
go to
a lot of the
Graffiti House.
conventions that we go to, it's in
R&B
Baltimore.
more,
Yeah. A lot of them are in Baltimore. Baltimore had Jeppy's Museum before that got closed down.
I really like that though.
I think that
wish
closed
could
down
take it back.
last year
Yeah,
too, right?
last year was the last
Or
year.
either last year or the year before
I
last.
thought it was
one of
last
those.
year. Like sometime in
Yeah,
February
I
last
wanted
year.
to go one more time because I don't think we ever took the kids, right?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, that
But
was
we
a
had
really,
just heard about it.
really
you know?
dope museum. Yeah,
Yeah, they had milestone stuff in there.
yeah.
Milestone
They
Comics.
did
An
exhibit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did exhibit one the year we first found out about it. They
Mhm.
had a bunch of milestone stuff. That was really dope.
Yeah, it was. But you were going on, but
Oh
not
yeah.
going on, but you're
So
continuing.
yeah, I mean that's been fun experience. Met even more new people through that. You know, models primarily.
Wait.
Trying to think, there was something else.
I was really hoping that you were gonna have your hand out. I threw hands on the
on the mic.
on the mic. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's a scene in the studio. So,
I'm so sorry.
what in the name of?
Because I put my
Models.
face near her eye.
You don't put hand sanitizer on your face, dude.
No, I was trying to put it in my eye.
You don't put it
You
in your
don't do
eye.
that.
on your face.
Not. Jeez.
You just lost the hand sanitizer. I want you to know. I bit the tongue.
There was no more. Don't look at me like that, baby.
Hand sanitizer.
Wow, that escalated quickly. Wow. So we got all off subject thanks to this child, this.
Yeah,
Creature.
we think our daughter might be suffering from a mild case of pink eye. We're
Yeah,
not
it's just pretty mild.
100% sure.
She's not scratching it, so it's just
No,
like,
don't touch your eye,
and
baby.
she touched her eye.
She's in it. I stopped there. Don't touch your eye, okay?
You're super cute.
You're infected.
We're trying not
By-
to scare her.
Her genetics, because
Now she's scared.
comes from yourself.
Now she's
right?
conscious of it. You know, she wasn't scratching her eye when she was over here by me.
She did. She's the reason I gave you the hand sanitizer.
Oh. That
So-
makes a lot of sense now.
Oh my god. Anyway,
Sorry, continue.
What?
You were talking about the photos.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Larry Brad.
Yeah.
Cause you said, because I had asked, did you reach out to him or did he reach out to you?
Oh yeah, I explained that part. Yeah, I said it was kind of a mutual, thing, because.
So y'all just messaged each other at the same time?
No, genius. I said so.
Like, I understand you guys, back in 2010 when you first met.
Okay, that's not when we first met.
Okay, back in 2010 when you learned about him, then you met him and you was like, hey, yo. So what gave you I want to know what gave you the courage to go and talk to him?
Man, I just did it. I don't know. I wasn't courageous nor. Yeah, I just did it, Holmes. Like.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you went up to him and then you said, he was like,
Stop, baby.
give me your information.
Well, I think well, yeah, pretty much. I don't actually remember. I know I found him on Facebook at some point.
Okay,
sent
and
him
y'all
a
were
friend
talking.
request. Yeah,
And
like,
then at some point, y'all just messaged each other at the same time and was like, we should meet up.
It's like this is a weird concept for him, but
All right, someone messaged someone. Whose idea was
okay,
this?
let me explain this to you.
Okay.
First and foremost, I've been taking photos on my own for years, so let's remember that.
Yes.
And do
Right.
realize
And so has he.
and do realize that after and that's one thing I want to bring up. After 2011, because we ended a decade, so I definitely developed a lot as a person in that decade. I can say
end of a
that.
decade. Yeah, you're right.
So in that time, I really stepped up my photography game.
yeah, wow, guys,
So,
we've come really far
we've
from the
come really
beginning of
far.
the decade.
So because of
We'll do
that,
later.
basically he saw my photos and I got his attention, especially in the pictures that really did it for him was the ones I took in my Anubis mask that I made some time ago.
Oh, yeah,
really liked those, and he really wanted to photograph me with the Anubis mask. So, yeah, we just basically planned it. We just basically planned it in. In fact, the first time he ever even brought up shooting me was he wanted to shoot me in my studio. I was like, okay, well, I'm always down. My weekends are free. But this is when he thought
Blocker.
I know, right? You wanted to shoot me.
Rep your set, Nick.
But this is when he still thought I lived in Baltimore. It wasn't until much later. So I'm like, no, I live in D.C. I live in Maryland, dude. He's like, oh, where? I'm like, across the border, Capitol Heights. He's like, oh, well, yeah, let's come and shoot. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, we just planned a day, and it happened.
Nice. That's dope. So he basically contacted you. That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. He contacted you.
Said it was an exchange of ideas and personality, man. Jeez.
Okay, but he still contacted you. Someone had to contact. Jeez.
God.
Yo, but I do want to talk about that for a second.
He's so different cut.
Jamal brought up an amazing point. We have come very far from the beginning of 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had just had our second child, Jaden, and I was drawing garbage.
I was a nobody.
But I was drawing digitally, and I was just getting the ropes of learning to draw at all. Well, okay, I won't say that. I was drawing a lot of time before that. But, we saw the creation of a couple of more fruition of our comics, We saw our first comic being printed in 2014, 15, Infernal Paradise.
The year before Gabby was born.
I jumped ahead because it.
No, I'm asking. What was the year before Gabby was born?
13.
Okay, so yeah, 2013.
2013. Yeah, like literally 2010, 2013 was us grinding, getting better, hiring,
crazy.
Working with other artists.
13 is when I went off to school for film.
And you know what? Yeah, it was in
first
school.
film, Dirty Pillow Fight, I did that in 2011.
Yeah. And 2013, we got our first apartment. It was my first time away from my family. Well, first time in such a way.
Well, we actually got the apartment in 2012, the year before.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What year was Nathan born?
2013.
Wait.
Yeah, we got it in 2013.
That's
in
impossible.
October.
How can...
They're 3 years apart. Yeah, he kind of sometimes forgets the years.
Wait, no, but you said 2013 was the year before Gabby was born.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh, sorry. Wow, that's my fault. Okay, I just made fun of you forgetting the names of the years of our children. Gabby was born 2016.
So 2015 was when we did Infernal Paradise.
Are you sure? I feel like it was 2014. Well, we were in production with
oh
Infernal
my
Paradise
goodness.
for 2014.
Okay,
we got it. We finished it, and we got it printed in 2015.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Gabby. Forgot your age.
We got our first apartment the year that Nathan was born.
Yeah. A lot of things are marked by when babies were born.
Makes sense. I usually remember
2015 is when you got your first job. I mean, my bad.
Wow.
Well, no, where you got your current job. I was saying that. Like, I just
most recent
put
job?
my man out on the spot. Like, they're like, wait, how old is he?
Man, made me look all kinds of bad.
2013.
Not your first job, bro. Not your first job. Your first real job.
2014 was the year that I decided not to go back to work, and that we had talked about me, and I had a little bit of gripes about it. But 2014 was the year when we decided that I would stay home and work on art, and we would work on Heaven and Hell is what it was. Heaven and Hell Studios at the time.
Yeah, shout out to Heaven and rest in peace, Heaven and Hell.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah,
so ironic.
That's
how do you
dead.
tell Heaven and Hell to rest in peace?
Whoa, weren't we Heaven and Hell Studios in
not the
2000?
Korean studios.
No, not them. It's like us.
Shout out to Korean Heaven and Hell.
I don't even know if they're still a thing.
I don't think so.
I want to see now.
Hold on,
How, man?
Where's my cell phone at?
Well, remember we were doing the
It's over there.
meetups with like our group
Baby,
and
pass me my cell
and
phone.
homies.
I mean, intern, pass me my cell phone.
You definitely paid. Remember we started. It has to be 2010, right? Because that's when the last people.
You know, you
graduated.
already called yourself
Hey,
at the beginning of
I'm
the
asking-
podcast master, right?
I'm asking a question.
I didn't say what kind of master.
But you're saying slave.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
2010 is when we started to really kind of put our foot forward with we had a group of our friends. But that was Heaven House Studios. We were actively working towards creating, getting people, helping people with their story and writing it, trying to come together to create a story together and figure out what it was going to be about. It was the first creation of Slapstick, my satire. I know you remember that.
Yeah, I don't think this has been updated since 2015. It's still up though.
Oh, it's still up. Oh, lucky them. They
Yeah.
took the name. We wanted it. We saw the...
Yeah, so we were like Heaven and Hell Comics.
Yeah, that's what it was. We had, a group of friends, and through literally in 2010, it was like 11 members deep.
Yeah, definitely. We were deep. A lot of creatives. We did, but the big thing about it was you had a lot of people that didn't really want it to be a company, and
They
they
didn't
just
see
looked at it
themselves.
as like a club.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And we had a lot of fun art jams and art sessions. MDC was a part of it too. But it's like,
Right.
I mean, in the end,
Then
it's
you
us
had
three, right?
And you literally had people that was like, we're here for the ride to see where this is going to go and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. We even
And
have some people at one point.
it went to the ground.
Yeah, when it fell
But-
apart, we had people kind of poking it from the same group, poking at it. Oh, how's it doing?
Yeah, I
How's it
literally
doing?
had one of our
Old
associates,
members.
old members. He had asked me
Like the other
what was
day, other week.
House Heaven and Hell doing and whatnot, and of course I realized he was saying it to be an a-hole, but at the same time I don't think he understood that H&H still exists. H&H exists through Midnight Designs,
Mm-hmm.
through Indie Pump, through Cross Art
Crossroads.
Entertainment.
Crossroad.
I was like Crossroads Entertainment.
Sorry,
You
Yeah.
just
Crossroads.
butchered that.
I didn't even know you still had the Crossroads to be example
To be honest.
to be honest. Yeah, I thought it was just Art Entertainment.
But that's amazing though, because at the beginning of this decade, of the last decade, we had 11
We were doing
members, Heaven and Hell Comics.
It was an actual registered thing.
yeah,
It was,
an LLC.
and that's like the biggest thing though,
It had
right?
a comic published under it.
Like
Yep.
we even had like a little deal going on with a media company, a contract where we were supposed to like he was coming to us, he was telling us like wanting to turn one of our stories into like think of it becoming a live action. And the thing about that was,
And it was like radio host.
I think he
stuff.
was really like we definitely weren't at the level where we could have been. Not saying like he definitely had some good ideas when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it was like shortly after that you literally have Netflix, all these WB releasing all these comic book junks has TV series.
Yeah,
and
that was
whatnot.
honestly right after.
Like it was
that.
just for the most part, you had like what was Smallville? That was like really the
Well, Smallville was a bit before that, but
had been
Smallville.
out for a while.
But
yeah,
be-
no, I'm saying that, but I'm saying like before that you just had like
Oh yeah, you just had
Smallville,
Smallville. Yeah.
but it really wasn't like
they didn't really
has
center on the
comic based.
Yeah.
Because for me, I didn't know. I
That
think
it
it
was
wasn't
Superman?
until I met you. Yeah, I didn't know it had anything to do with Superman.
And that's the thing. They like downplayed that part. Like if you go, I went back and watched some of the episodes, and I'm just like, wow. Yeah, you can obviously tell this is Clark Kent, but at the same time, they really didn't want to let you know that he was going to become Superman yet.
Yeah.
And it was like it was like taboo words sort of, because in the early 2000s they were gingerly, they came up with the
Yeah,
Marvel
their
kinda
whole
coming out
thing
with
was
stuff.
about like let's do comic books, but let's try to make them cool. Other than the whole, because they just looked at it like it was just
still kind of uncool.
just a specific niche that
Yeah.
found it cool, and it wasn't just like this was a part of everybody's childhood that was growing up then.
That's crazy.
They really
because
took a
they-
mature direction with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they were like, it's so interesting because they didn't understand just how big their fan base or how powerful their fan base was,
yeah.
and how powerful their stories were.
How
because their
large,
stories,
too.
have created an even larger fan base with the MC universe,
Mm-hmm.
and the DC universe, cinematic universe. But
I mean, because we also had like the movies and stuff too.
yeah, there was always those movies there, but moving into televised, series.
So yeah. Like
was
I
still
think
genuine.
that was a really good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, for me like I said, at the time I was young and inexperienced, and I really didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
either.
trying to grasp
And,
a lot of.
He came to us one day and he had suggested one of my main characters for one of my
You'll never let
one
that
of my
go.
stories.
Don't look over there like that. I'm scared.
For one of my stories, that was called Nephem Hunter, he suggested that the main character have a horn, and then it was like
You
literally,
will never let that go.
I just shut down.
Yeah, he
Like
was
from then on, I just literally shut
A
down.
horn?
A horn,
just
yeah,
one horn too.
Ew.
because he wanted something to make the character stand out. And then then when I went with another artist, they kind of said they didn't say the same thing as a horn, but they was saying that he was too plain and he needed to be different or whatever. But then, that also, I never really did that either way, but
Well-
it did make me realize that I was too close to that story and whatnot, and I ended up ultimately just destroying that entire story and rewriting it with the same
But
characters
I want you to
per
know this was,
se,
like, his baby
but
part,
changing the like this will probably be your Draco.
Draco.
No, not at all.
Don't look like that. I like that so much.
Drago is never going to exist.
Oh, okay.
Drago wasn't okay. Let me
I think it was the tribes one with
do
the werewolves.
realize. No, my baby.
So would it be
What-
MDC's story then? Mr. Dark Christian story?
Well, his name isn't Mr. Dark Christian. It's just Dark Christian.
Dark Christian, yes.
That's my second baby, actually.
What's
Okay, so then what's the wolf one?
Will you
The
just let him
Wolfpack?
answer?
Yeah.
No, I should know this.
I've explained to you, but I leave it vague for a couple of reasons because one, the name has changed like several times over the years,
Fair.
so I don't even want to give it.
With the heroes?
Will you just?
No, not that
No?
one. Okay, I'll explain to you when we're done this podcast, but this is what I'll tell you.
Wait, give me a hint, yeah.
Okay, this is my oldest story. I'm telling you, this goes back to when I was 9 years old.
Oh.
And this is a saga, and most of my stories exist in this universe.
With all the, it was based for the PlayStation dude. The wrestling jump?
Oh my god, no.
Okay, what?
Like I said,
I'm surprised about that.
long story short, that's my main baby. Dark Christian's the other one.
So, but, okay, can you tell me a character from it?
You don't know any of the names of the characters.
Okay, so you never told me about
I
that.
told you about it, but
God
I never.
damn it.
But this is what I'm telling you. It's like, okay. When I maybe let me rephrase it.
What did
Sorry.
you just kick? Oh.
Let me rephrase it. It's what I consider my most important story.
Okay.
Okay, so I've brought it up to you before. It's just that I haven't got that in depth because honestly, it's a lot to explain. It's that big of a story. Like there's 7 main chapters, but then there's a lot of other chapters too. So I said this is the one, and the one reason I keep it so vague is because this is the one I need to be perfect. So I honestly, a lot has changed since like the first. It's basically completely different because it used to be extremely biblical based, but now it's really not. And on top of that, it used to be more in a realistic world. Now it's more in a fantasy world. So it's changed tremendously. The main things that has stayed the same is pretty much all the characters are still there, and the general theme is still there. It's just evolved into a much more detailed conflict.
Okay.
So, and that's what I mean when I say it's my baby. Because, like, basically, long story short, I'm going to tell you this. The last chapter of the story is what I want my very last film to be. That's what I mean when it's that important.
Oh,
Okay.
You know,
cool.
so
Well, yeah, it's basically like that, but you taking everything that you had since you were 9 years old into that story and keeping it. And
Yeah, I get what
refuse
you're saying.
everyone like, yo, I don't really think like this doesn't make sense, and you get upset with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
That's
definitely
how-
the same with Dad.
That's how I was treating it. And I actually know a lot of writers and artists that, have the same thing. And it's like, you really need to kill that story. Like,
And you know
2020 killed that story
Yeah.
and rebuild it with what you know now.
Open your eyes.
And you know
'cause-
what? And that's really what I wanted to build up to about how far we've come because, here's the thing. Going back to H&H and all that,
Oh,
and,
man, do I
and
gotta
the
tell you.
band and everything else that was
Oh
going on
man,
around
the
that time.
band. That's right.
I'm honestly glad it all failed, and here's why.
Damn.
Yeah, I know that sounds harsh, but here's why. Because like
You don't move that bottle from your feet.
So Midnight brought up Drago. So The
Well,
best way.
I did.
Oh, you brought up
Yeah,
Dragon.
but it's one of my favorite that I read from you from a while ago.
Yeah,
I mean, not one
it's
of
your favorite because it's uber familiar.
Yeah, I was say I won't say it's my favorite anymore, but it's one of the first stories you let me read.
So basically, long story short, Drago was a story I came up with from a dream. And to be honest, I tried to deny this, but frankly, the creature itself was based off a magic card creature. So that was the first thing I did wrong.
Yay, Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering?
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Magic the Gathering.
Shout out to Wizards of the East.
I think it's one of the
Coast.
cards I kept from
Colts,
y'all, too.
Wizards of the Coast.
I mean, I think they're on the east. No, they're in
No,
the
there's
the West
that
Coast.
would be the West. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Yes, the story did have its own identity, but for the most part, it was pretty much King Kong with a dragon. Like, pretty much. It was just a little more violent. Actually, it was quite gory.
I'm about to say what? A little bit.
Yeah, well, it was pretty freaky. That was a violent story. And one thing I am proud, I did do a lot of research because it took place in the 30s. No, the 40s. The 30s. So I, read up on the lingo, got pictures of cars, would draw the cars out. So I really got detailed into it. But, boy, there's some stupid things about that story. I had another story before that called Ripper, which is basically a modern...
I
I was just about to bring that up. I was like, wait, was the 9-year-old the Jack the Ripper story?
So Ripper was basically my modern version of my favorite movie, From Hell. So that's all that was. And a lot of my stories...
Shout out to Johnny Depp.
Okay,
shout out to the Hughes brothers.
Which I didn't know was black.
Anyway, so I had another story called Massacre of the Hartville Freaks, which is basically Chainsaw Massacre. I had Ninja... What the heck was that one called? Ninja Clan, which is basically Kill Bill with a boy. Yeah, all them stories were basically just straight up rip-offs. And you know what? I am so glad I finally grew out of that, because you know what? My baby story, that was like that. That was like a mix of it. The original inspiration actually was Dragon Ball Z and Star Wars. The original name for this was called Star Z. I lied to you, dead not.
Wait, hold on. So the story you're talking about is the story that I'm thinking of.
I don't know, because nothing you mentioned sounded anything like it.
We will
Like, there's like this really, really powerful dude.
Well, now there's several of them.
But, like, I don't know if he was, like, all white. Like, okay, kind of reminiscent of Dart in Manhattan a bit.
Okay, yes and no. He's
I
not
don't
in
know.
that main story. He's, like, on the side. He's in one of the side
But
stories.
you're talking about... Yeah, okay, no,
Yeah.
I remember the story. I remember you
Okay.
telling me about this.
Yeah, so... But that's what I mean. There's a lot of, like, side stories to it.
Right,
But,
yeah.
yes, he is a very important part of the bigger story, though.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. But, of course, this wasn't even in the Star Z era. That character came later. And you know what he was based off of? Apocalypse. and a few X-Men comics. And it's funny because now you mentioned Dr. Manhattan. As similar as they were, I made this character years before I even knew what Watchmen was.
Ooh,
And
cool.
they're so similar. And I'm like, God. And to this day, I'm like, geez, am I going to have to change him around? Because one of the things he did do, he actually left planet Earth and stayed on a different planet in our galaxy. It wasn't Mars, though. I'm not going to say what planet, but it wasn't Mars.
What planet was it?
Hi, Hydra.
Was it? Hydra is the
I don't
name of
even.
one of the moons.
So I'm just gonna ignore that. I didn't even like that movie, so screw you.
So, I never showed you the meme where Dart in Manhattan, he was sitting on Mars and he was just sitting there, and then he was just like, Hell Hydra.
Hey yo,
Oh my goodness.
but
So
yeah,
random, but what if? What if?
but definitely. I mean, a lot of my stories were really heavily direct. And even Dark Christian, there was a lot of Dark Knight and Punisher, Swagger Jack, and I'm not gonna lie. But as I got older, you realize, okay, if I'm growing up, so do my stories. You have to shelter. It's okay to be inspired. Everyone's inspired, but
Yeah.
what you talked
Right.
before, it's like you have to know the difference between being inspired and basically just hacking. And
Or just being inspired, or just being a fanatic,
Fan.
Yeah.
basically, and whatnot.
And fan created stuff is fine. You just have to figure out how much of it you get, like taking ideas, inspiration from these stories, and then evolving it to the point where it's like, wow, this is really my thing. You should it's the constantly coming back and looking into it. Like, how much of this is a fan story? How much of this has
Right.
developed from
'Cause-
an idea?
Because to add to that, we're not
Inspiration.
saying at all like that first story, your baby, just not do it. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying have the awareness to step back and be like, okay, this that was created by 13, 15-year-old me isn't as popping as it was back then when I thought it was
Yeah.
and whatnot. So hopefully during those years, you know, you've studied, you've learned about plot structure, you've learned about characters, what a Mary Sue is, you
Yeah.
know, about character tropes, that, you know, you're able to look at your story and be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to need to change some stuff.
And speaking of, I just want to point out,
Mhm.
since this show is often about diversity, I had an oversue of white characters. And a
Yeah.
lot of my black characters were
Well.
stereotypes. Even in my Big Baby story, I had one black character, and you know what he was? A gangster.
Oh yeah.
Lie to you not. So, I'm really glad that didn't get done back then.
That's
Damn,
another thing at the beginning of
Boardwalk Empire.
the
besides.
at the beginning of the decade, 2010, Midnight was this unemotional, like, imagine her as Revy from the Black Lagoon. Well, except for Revy was emotional, so fiery, but like disassociative, like hardcore badass. I don't have humanity because I literally
gun toting.
gun
Yeah,
toting.
I was gonna go in that with yours because you're currently working on your baby after you basically
tore it apart.
tore it apart completely
Yeah,
and whatnot.
I wouldn't have
But
done
you
that.
still have the characters that you love
Yeah.
and whatnot.
I actually ended up
But
killing off a character.
They
but it's
ended
like,
up becoming more like
It was
you can
useless.
still keep the characters, but you can make them more three-dimensional, make them
Yeah.
more creative and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because
The Dare the World saw the creation of what was going to be a prequel turned into the first story, Dare the Hunt, where I decided that Midnight's not going to be. It took some convincing because Nev had suggested making Midnight not unemotional because that's a trope that's overplayed, you know, and it
Yeah.
is. I looked it up. I did some studies and whatnot, and over the 10 years, over the 10 years, I realized Midnight evolved from being that solemn gunslinger to a more compassionate friend. She has friends. She has allegiances. She has emotions something that it took me reading some books, especially Children of Blood and Bone. Oh yeah, I brought it up. Shout out to Tomi Adeyemi. I love her work. She has a character named Zelly, and I just finished Children of Virtue and Vengeance, and I got it for Christmas, and I finished it in 5 days, and I'm really sad because now I gotta wait a whole year until the next one comes out. But Zelly is a character that it took me and my friend talking about it that I realized she is never afraid to show her emotions, and not to say that she is emotional. No, in fact, everybody in that story, everybody in that story allows themselves to feel. It's not a matter of I'm a woman, I can't show my true I can't let them see me cry, or I'm a god, I don't cry. No. Everyone cried because they allowed themselves to feel the emotion, to feel angry, to feel sad, to feel happy, to laugh, to rejoice, and then just keep going. There was no barrier because it's a fantasy world, and it made me look at Midnight after reading Children, Blood and Bone and Virtue and Vengeance. It made me look at Midnight like, wow, Midnight can be a much more powerful character if instead of making her solemn, I let her embrace her emotions. I
Right.
mean, what reason would she have to hold it back?
the biggest thing though was the reason to why she was unemotional. That really didn't rock with me when when you eventually shared your story with me.
Yeah, she basically, I changed around the details of the contract, but the whole point of Dare the Hunt, is that Midnight trades her soul away. At the time, she traded
Wasn't
her
even her
humanity.
soul. It was her
Her
love
love of
for
humanity.
humans
Yeah,
away
specifically
to the
humans.
devil, and that just literally didn't make sense
She
to me.
could not
So
love
it just
a
made
single
her
human.
unemotional and whatnot.
She could love
And
anything that's not humans.
not saying that this character was
No, it's
unemotional,
tired, it's tired
but this character was basically like Midnight was basically going to be like Jotaro in a sense.
Oh yeah.
And I know a
She
lot of
literally
people
did
is
not
going
speak.
to hate me for this, but Jotaro, I love him. I love the entire JoJo Bizarre Adventure story, but he was not the best JoJo. A lot of people say he is, but to me, I feel like Jonathan is one of the best JoJos because
Jonathan!
he has so much personality.
Character and
So much personality,
yeah.
so much character. I feel like a lot of people that like Jotaro is because they want to be like him.
And we had a character that was like Jotaro. Literally, Andre was pretty much Jotaro too. In
Oh
the sense
yeah,
that he was quiet.
the edge. Well, not saying that Jotaro was,
An
but Andre
edgelord.
was a bit of an edge lord.
Yeah.
And
But like the
just
quiet edgelord, the one
quiet.
that sits in the
Yeah,
back.
he was Starky though. He was
Yeah.
more
But
Starky.
one thing I definitely going back to my baby, my story.
Uh-huh.
Now this is why I am glad years passed me because over the years, like I said, the original story was pretty straight on. It's like the main character was like the purest of pure good. He's basically Jesus, and he was surrounded by less pure characters, but they were all pretty obviously good guys, and they were all kind of had their own sort of view of things, but they all worked together. Bad guy, which is basically the devil's son or some crap like that. So it was very, Judeo-Christian based. Had a white main character and all that. So as years went by, I would get into H.P. Lovecraft stories. Then Game of Thrones came on TV, and Walking Dead came on TV, and I just got exposed. I just got into more stuff, and I realized the thing what they made Game of Thrones great is how random and unpredictable it was. Lovecraft basically is a universe with no safety net, and all these different things started hitting me, and then just my own personal views and beliefs began to change. And do realize this is even more because I started studying ancient Africa in 2008. So this is like years I'm really into like African art. So I'm getting even different mythologies and stories and whatnot. And so my worldview has changed tremendously. There's just I just have a lot more experience. I'm thinking, okay, if this story is really going
That's what I
to,
was gonna bring up. Yeah, go ahead.
if this story is really going to encapsulate all these different cultures and whatnot, it didn't make sense to me that it'd be based around one religion anymore. And I thought, well, how can I bring in other beliefs and not say that? It was a lot more that could have been said. And then I realized, well, why? And Game of Thrones really put it in my head is why not really stress these differences these characters have? Like, what if these people are really at blood depth with each other? Like, maybe the conflicts are a lot more real. Like, these people may have killed each other's families. Maybe there's war. There was so many. I always hated stories that had ideas sitting there that they never really nurtured. And I was like, I never wanted to be that type of creator. It's like, if something can be exploited in your story, you should do it. It's like, I have all these different characters, all these different creatures in this world, and it's like this big bad show up, and all of a sudden everyone's on the same side. It's like, no, it wouldn't work like that. And that's the one thing I did like about Game of Thrones is that you did have like this one evil that was going after everyone, but all these other previous issues had already been set in motion, and those had to be solved. And I thought, why not go that direction? Why not expand? It just point is, I spent a lot of my years growing and widening my horizon and point of view, and now I feel far more comfortable into the stories I want to do. I have a direct view of what I'm trying to say with each story.
Yeah, and same for me. Midnight originally was more Hispanic. She was Hispanic. That's what she was. She was Hispanic. She was light-skinned Hispanic, straight blue hair. Her companions in Dare the World, there was, each character was her closest friend in the story, Edith, who's still there, is also Hispanic. And then there was Turanj, who was African American, but it's futuristic, so African descent. And Kojiko was Hispanic, or he's supposed to be like Asian Hispanic or so, like Japanese Hispanic, because anime. And Cecil was like Hispanic as well. But despite the fact that I am Afro-Latina, I didn't include that in Midnight's character. I just, for some reason, it's not the thing that I saw. If the main character has to be white passing, and I'm not gonna make a white person. I didn't, but I'm gonna make a white passing character, even though around me there's a bunch of brown Hispanics everywhere. That didn't click to me. So literally, we saw Midnight grow from 2010 all the way to 2019, and we'll probably show a picture of. I'll probably do that because I didn't do that for my characters, but we should totally do that. Where we show like the things, like the characters we created 2010 and then 2020, how they look now. Midnight's completely changed. Her hair is thick and curly like mine. She has a big wide smile. Her skin is tanned, like I used to be in Texas, and just brown skin in general. Most of the cast of the characters are brown skinned, and that I learned more. I learned more about not just Mexican culture, but that Afro Latino culture, Afro Mexican, Afro Cuban, Afro Brazilian. I decided that their stories, their story, our story, is a story unsung. It's still not there. We're slowly getting up there. So my cat, I just saw the evolution of Midnight, and honestly, I saw the 3D emergence of or visualization of a character that was before a huge unemotional girl anime troupe tsundere character turn into something more like myself, adventurous and fun loving and dutiful and loyal and fierce, and also colorful with different, with a whole culture vibrant behind her. Like her father ended up at one point it was a Hispanic mom and Hispanic dad. I was like, fuck it, my dad's black. I'm gonna make her dad black too, because Midnight, even if she's not me, these characters that we started 10 years ago plus, they're us. They're our stories. They're our babies. In a lot of ways, Andre is Neff.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna add though, for me, it wasn't so much.
Yeah.
Ah man, I actually lost my train of thought.
Wow.
Because with you, it was like a lot of stuff that influenced you. For me, it was like I was going to go the whole vampire route, and during that time, like in the 2006, 2008 onward, it was so many vampire films that came out.
Vampire.
Bruh, yes, like the decade
As
of the
werewolf,
vampire.
I was hating every minute of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And literally, it was like when saying vampire, I felt like I could feel other people's, expression just changed. And my whole thing was like, no, like it's just vampires for the first saga. The second saga is when things really get exciting. But I had to ask myself, like, what's the point of having the first saga if people had to wait until they got to the second saga to actually for things to get interesting and whatnot. So from that point, it literally felt flawed and whatnot for me. So like I said, I had to destroy it and rebuild it from the ground up. And of course, I love my characters and whatnot, but I was able to keep them. But they had to change.
Yeah.
Andre, for example, couldn't continue to be that Starky,
Edgelord.
that little Starky bastard that was the, the social outcast by choice because he felt like he was so much smarter than others. Oh God, I was really imprinting myself onto this character. But yeah. Hey, that's one thing you really gotta. But that's for another day.
Yeah, that's another thing. I like that discussion too.
But yeah. Very glad we had this conversation. We was able to share with MDC.
No, never mind. This might not be important right now. I kind of want to talk about my photo shoot yesterday. Oh, I can? Okay.
Yeah. It's late. Yeah, go ahead.
Mention it so that we can bring it up next time.
Well, yeah.
Well, this goes back to networking because this is a person I shot photos for this guy. His name on IG is Death After College.
Woo! Shout out to Death After College on Instagram.
Yeah, college EGE.
I keep doing that.
Know that because I got that wrong. Is that how you actually spell college? I don't know.
COLLEGE.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yes.
So I'm the dummy.
I was like,
Okay, you sure you want to continue this, and you don't want me to like delete that out?
No.
Just do a bleep
I'm
over it.
human, and sometimes I'm just stupid.
It's late. Not really for us, but it's late.
Wow, that's sad when you misspell college. Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's totally okay. One time, my coworker, she was showing me something that her friend had said, and it was basically I don't know what she said, but she used the plural for leaf, which is leaves. And she was showing me, she was like, dude, look how she spelled leaves. She spelled it as like you're leaving. And I'm just looking at the phone and I'm looking at her and I'm like, that's how you spell. That's the plural way of spelling it. It's not leaf. It's not with an S. It's yeah. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah. you know, I didn't want to make her feel bad or anything, but it's understandable, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
mean, it sometimes you have a major brain fart, but
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, I met him at a club some time ago. I think about a couple of years ago now.
Also, I think you was probably thinking of Collage, which is CLLAGE. That's
Yeah,
probably
okay.
yeah. But yeah, go
All right,
ahead.
so I'm only half stupid. But yeah, I worked with him yesterday. Cause I'm gonna just be straight. This is so ironic for me to say that. I'm gonna be straight. He's a really beautiful man. And I'm like, dude, you deserve some really nice photos. And one of our associates, they had shot already. They had shot some pretty cool photos. I'm like, okay, my turn. So we shot some awesome photos yesterday, and I also did an interview with him. He interviewed me, and he has a video on a channel on YouTube, and about goth culture and vampirism and all that good stuff. He's also an anime cosplayer. And yeah, Death After College. He's on IG, he's on YouTube. So shout out to Death After College. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick.
Oh, no, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
We're all about local artists and not so local artists. But
Living or dead.
yeah, living or dead. Sorry.
Or undead.
But yeah, no. I'm glad that we was able to, you know, have this episode and whatnot and
Yeah,
share it with
definitely.
you guys. Totally not the reasons for our hiatus, but
I mean,
was able to share you know, some of the stuff that we were doing.
we
were
burnt
just
out a bit too.
you know,
I'll be
sitting
honest.
on our ass. I wasn't. That was cool, but
Well, I was.
I was
Just
more
keep it
so
modest.
like self-conscious about releasing the last episode, and I kind of got into like this. I kind of got into like this whole.
being creepy. I don't like it.
This whole like. Well, I wouldn't say that I burned out. I was just like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling myself, and
Well,
it
I
took
wasn't burnt
took
out.
midnight and DMC beating me with
DMC.
pillows.
DMC.
With artist MDC to
Remind him.
beating me with pillows. Okay, no,
We did
we're
beat
not
him with
bringing that up.
pillows.
Yeah, y'all did.
We totally beat him with pillows because he was like, "Guys, is our podcast good?" And we just started beating him. Like, what? Are we
And yeah,
on
and
track? Yes,
but I'm definitely, you know, I'm gonna be on it. We're gonna be more consistent.
yeah, it's the
You saw
year
the
of the
video?
anti-ghosting.
Yeah, we're not gonna ghost y'all.
Yeah.
I definitely plan to release more than just 8 episodes. I was talking to this one gentleman, Jay.
Jaws Blake is his.
Josh Blake.
Jaws.
Jaws Blake. Yeah,
Jaws.
Jaws Blake. Shout out to Jaws Blake. You
Yeah.
can follow him on Instagram at Jaws_Blake.
He even has a podcast he does called The Painter Files. Check it out.
Yeah. I was talking to him and he was like,
That's cool.
"Oh, what episode you guys on?" I was like, 8, and he was like, "Oh, okay. I'm on like I think he said 70, 71." I was like, "Ooh, whew." That's probably a number we should be on if
Yeah,
if we was
it
doing
was
that,
consistent.
consistently and continually." But
But you know, on the bright side, it still gives time for people to catch up.
yeah,
You got a
that's
lot
true.
of time.
Yeah. So
Make 2020 the
Um,
year you catch up on our stuff.
yeah, and also tell us
Shit,
what
what's
you
input.
did 2019. Like, if
Yeah,
it,
tell us.
if it was creative, like, or did you play Overwatch or Apex? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like whatever
Did you get
you
to,
did. Did you
what
get
is
a
it,
job
Diamond
promotion
rank?
or
Is
something?
it okay for them to make links in the comments?
Of
I
what?
don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, link your stuff.
Yeah.
Tell
If you
us
got a
where you were
Facebook
in
page or
2000
something, yeah, share us.
Tell us where you were in 2010, and let us know where you are in 2019. And
Oh, yeah.
There's no we're
Or,
not measuring.
or tell us like
ages.
what changes
Can I
you
finish what I'm
did to
saying?
your baby. Sorry.
There's no measurements or competitions on who was wearing what and when. Like
What?
honestly, I just at the end of the decade. I was just at the end of the decade, just coming into my
The
own art.
decade. Sorry.
What, are we high or something? Did I miss out? Like, did y'all not pass the weed brownies to me?
No,
No.
he referenced his own darn ego, and I'm the only one
Oh.
that called it.
Wait,
When I was
what?
looking
Okay,
at the
I
list.
must have missed that one too.
At the beginning of the decade, I hated my art. And it literally wasn't until 2016, like 4 years before the decade was over, that I decided that I liked what I was drawing and that I cared about what I was drawing and I cared about being an artist. And I can definitely say that it probably didn't have to take me as long. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't any less as important that I got from the journey. What?
Sorry, I just want to do like doing that, just like a
Don't.
piano chord, like how she's like sharing a part of herself or her truth. I just wanted to have like a little violin in it or something.
I think you're supposed to do that in your head when
Yeah.
you're recording.
Yeah, not during the recording in your head. Can you not? All I'm trying to say is that no matter where you started from, 10 years ago, 10 years later, be proud of what you've created, what you've done, what you've worked on. There's no measurement to the success that you have.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any measurement to the success you have.
I mean, I feel like there should be to know you're successful.
Well, I mean success in like the
I
wow,
was
you
trying
are not
to.
empowering.
I was trying
You
to
are not
end
empowering
this.
at all.
I was trying to end
I
this.
was trying
and
to
then
say
you just,
it too, and you're like,
you're trying
Anna,
to,
I don't like your wise words.
Like
They don't make any sense.
Literally going
So
10
trying to
minutes.
leave it on a
Daddy
note.
are
We cannot all talk at the same time.
I'm trying to leave it on a note of empowerment, and you're just like, that doesn't make sense. Can you leave it on a note of empowerment, please?
What can I say? I'm the devil's advocate.
He is, isn't he?
So anyway,
Let us know.
I'll say this.
Take that whole part out.
Here's the thing, like the old saying
Taking
on
that part out and the college part out.
like the old saying in the mighty book of Facebook, in the mighty book of Face.
It was
know-
Mark Zuckerberg, Psalm 10.
You know, you don't lose. Either you win or you learn. You know, and I can honestly sit here and say we've learned a lot in that decade, like a freaking lot, and there's still a lot more learning to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, you really shouldn't feel bad about nothing. It's like you're still alive, you
Pat
still
yourself
got
on the back.
money in the bank, hopefully,
Oh.
and you know, keep on trucking.
Yeah. And we'll be here with y'all. Step out of the way, because we're not giving up.
A truck can't move in every condition.
All right. Now,
First of all, I'm trying to.
Are
figure out
we
who made that
done?
song.
Are we done?
Nicki Minaj.
It wasn't Curtis Mayfield. Who was it?
What?
Eddie Kendrick. No.
Kendrick
I'm sorry.
Lamar.
Get out.
Okay. So, as I was saying, which I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah.
Because he's got to be the
Don't
one
forget
that ended
to-
on an empowering note.
I just want to tell these Negroes to like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Episode 9. We done. We out.
Woodward.
Blah.